Ever heard of something called the Mozart effect? Well, it's a theory that suggests classical music can stimulate and have a positive effect on the brain. This theory has its fair share of supporters, but it has also been written off as just another psychological myth. So let's dive in and see what the works of Mozart, Beethoven, Bach, and Handel, just to name a few, really do for our brains. A study performed at the University of Helsinki looked at the effects of listening to classical music on a molecular level by profiling the genome through peripheral blood. One group of subjects listened to Mozart's Violin Concerto No. 3 for 20 minutes, while the other group was discouraged from listening to music the day before and during the session. Instead, they spent their time talking to each other, reading a magazine, or walking outside. The results show that the group who listened to classical music had upregulated expression in a gene called SYNUCLEIN alpha, and an increased production of the hormone called dopamine, which is known to be the feel-good hormone. But more importantly, it plays a role in learning and memory. A shortage of dopamine also increases the risk for Parkinson's, a neurodegenerative disease that impairs movement. Listening to classical music also downregulated genes associated with neurodegeneration. A professor from Duke University stated that classical music might not be able to make you smarter, but through an increase of dopamine, it can make a person more calm and reduce stress and anxiety, enhance relaxation, and put people in a more positive mood. Not just classical music, but actually different types of music can be beneficial to those suffering from Alzheimer's and related dementias. Music can be an important tool for forming connections and associations in the brain, and this can aid in memory. Writings by neurologist Oliver Sacks stated that even in patients with the most serious form of Alzheimer's, music can evoke emotions and bring back memories. By pairing music with everyday activities, patients can develop associations and better recall memories of those activities and improve their cognitive ability over time. But not only does music have beneficial effects for the aging brain, it has been shown to be beneficial to people of all ages. For example, playing music in the background has been seen to aid with studying. Generally, instrumental music with a slower beat creates a relaxed environment and heightened emotional state, which not only increases concentration, but also enhances the brain's ability to absorb content. A university study published in France saw that students who listened to a 1-hour lecture that had classical music playing in the background scored higher on a multiple-choice quiz compared to another group who listened to a lecture with no music. Another way that classical music alters brain and behavior is that it can help with sleep patterns. Research from the University of Toronto found that listening to classical music before bedtime helped people fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. This is because many classical pieces contain rhythms and tonal patterns that regulate brainwaves, and this can encourage deep sleep and reduce insomnia. Another study conducted in 2007 played Mozart sonatas to patients who were recovering from surgery. It found that the music reduced the need for pain medication, lowered stress hormones, and also blood pressure. These findings have been shown in other studies, but the researchers also discovered that the patient's brain released 50% more pituitary growth hormone, which played a major role in recovery after surgery, as it reduced inflammation and promoted overall healing. Obviously, these effects vary for each individual. For instance, people who don't enjoy classical music may not experience the calming and attention-enhancing effects seen in these studies. Music therapy in general still poses an exciting area of research, and the effects of all different genres of music on the human body and behavior are being studied. Its implications do not only pertain to the treatment of psychological illnesses, but also for terminal illness patients, as music has been seen to help patients cope with symptoms and reduce anxiety. So if you find classical music pleasant to the ears, you might have a new reason to keep it playing in the background as you go about your day-to-day life.